aspect that you bring in, which is a supplier aspect, because most of the times we're looking at internally within our network perimeter boundaries, and even when things went remote, we're thinking of endpoint and people going around. Our attack surface is of course much bigger.
Yeah.
But the supplier side is very interesting. A lot of breaches are also happening through suppliers, and changing suppliers is a big space which nobody wants to get into. So there are other operational challenges that we often
Correct.
think of before even questioning them, which so you so rightly brought out. But from the perspective of, so these are, you've well covered all these three areas from the perspective of business risks and now strategic initiatives, which often point us to starting, for example, the right kind of security programs that will actually
Yeah.
measure these, which will actually have the right kind of questioning for, the suppliers and other, for vendors, for your look at your entire supply chain, depending on what you are looking to, fix in the
Yeah.
organization.
Yeah.
When we do start these security programs, though, often the goal is clear,
Yeah.
but we keep defining how we reach there. But
Yeah.
there comes a time when you have to think of what kind of metrics do we actually measure to be
Mm.
able to say that we have remediated or brought down the risk, or our posture is corrected. And I want to now actually maybe talk a little beyond vulnerabilities, because many times traditionally I've seen we look at number of vulnerabilities identified or number of vulnerabilities fakes. These are very traditional ones.
Mm.
How do you look at it? What do you suggest? When should we go for defining the metrics, and what are the kind of metrics that at a program level should we define?
Sure. Okay. So typically the way what we do is we define the metrics typically per domain as one. Okay, so there are multiple ways to do it. Let me put it this way. Okay. One is, let's say I have a compliance to adhere to, right? And now with Europe having to go with DORA and NIS2, or a lot of organizations have always in the past looked at NIST, right? So
Yeah,
you're,
yeah.
and now NIST has brought in the govern aspect. So govern, identify, protect, detect, right, and recover. So you can define your metrics looking at these aspects
Okay.
of your cybersecurity cycle, right? Or you can say my access governance, my sorry, my uh, technology governance. So, when I say technology governance, it encompasses all your attack surface management, your cyber resilience,
Oh,
incident
okay.
response, your what else can be included in that? Your cloud environment, right? Because if you're hosting your own cloud, for example, all of these are there, are considered as an element. People obviously is another element, supply is another element, and then my effectiveness of a lot of these, and my asset management. That is one
Okay.
of the very critical aspects, right? So you can do either, you can use the NIST route where you look at govern, identify, protect, detect, recover, or you look at each of the domains that you have. Uh, Either you are, yourself handling it, or you have it outsourced to a larger IT service player or whatever may be the case. And then within this, now what do I want to measure? So let me take an example, right? Assets, right? We've not spoken much about assets, so I'll touch upon that a little bit. So one is, uh, number of assets that, say, for example, the percentage of discovered assets not tracked in my asset management system, or number of systems and applications that have not been risk classified, number of assets with no nominated owner, okay, a percentage or number, whatever you may want to measure it as, right? So let's say these are the three key metrics within asset management as a domain, for example. Now,
Okay.
what is the data that I need for these for this? So percentage of discovered assets not tracked in my asset management solution. What do I need? I need the number of assets that actually I discovered. Maybe it was, very, very tedious and a very, very uh, painful exercise of physically sitting and calculating it. Or I am doing a correlationship with another tool like your scanning tool or some other tool.
Huh.
where
Attack
the asset,
surface
yeah,
management
exactly.
tools. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So, that is where you have, right? And the total number of assets that are tracked in my actual CMDB or whatever asset management that I may be using,
Hmm.
right? And then dividing that by the number of assets that have been actually discovered through the, physical exercise or the actual manual exercise or whatever other exercise, right? So this is where I will arrive at that percentage of with the correlationship has to be done where assets not tracked versus assets actually available in my infrastructure, right? Or something like, okay, so let's take another example. So these are some of the metrics that I can define. Governance. Okay, let's take another example around governance. So percentage of audit findings that were unsatisfactory or needed improvement, and there was a rating of that given to them within the last 12 months versus findings that have not been resolved.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
So for example, it's like I had 10 audit findings in my last year's audit, which were rated as unsatisfactory, needs improvement. And in my scale, these are two important aspects which need to be, adhered to. However, somewhere the ball got dropped because I couldn't identify an owner for any of these audit findings. And
Okay.
therefore, in my next audit, they have still come back as unsatisfactory. Or
Hmm.
for that matter, they were probably needs improvement last time, and now they've come back as unsatisfactory because of the repetition of the same issue. And it could be anything, right? I mean, a lot of all of us who have been through security audits or, or even work in security understand what kind of audit findings. So, something around like that, right? Another way of measuring, measurement is around the compliance risk itself. So a
Okay.
lot of financial organizations, in the US, a lot of the healthcare organizations, need to adhere to compliances which are well known, right? Your HIPAA, your high trust, or in banking, every country has its own
Yeah.
regulation for data protection within banking and financial services. Now, what is it that I need to measure over there? No, regulatory. So percentage of high risk legal and regulatory deficiencies identified in the last 12 months. That is, if I was doing an assessment, what is the percentage of high risk deficiencies which would lead to high penalties have been identified, right? Number one. Number two, then on the basis of that, or let's say yesterday I paid a penalty, for example.
Okay. Okay.
So, I'll go back. So I paid a penalty. Why did I have to pay a penalty? Because that finding was material to a non-compliant finding in the audit, which never got caught or which never
Ah,
was
okay.
reported or was never resolved.
This is also quantified, so you can
Exactly. Yeah.
easily
Yeah.
prioritize. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So that is one thing. Then another thing is a number of open findings from other external regulatory audits, right? One
Okay.
of these audit organizations came and did an audit on us, and, they identified uh, typical ones around access governance, around, assets not being scanned in Qualys, or sorry, not Qualys, but basically any
Any vulnerability
yeah,
management.
vulnerability
Yeah.
scan, or a system sitting outside of my network security parameter, whereas it should not be over there and it should have been within my network security parameter, and
Okay.
things like that, right? Now, these were audit findings from an external auditor, which can lead to me, if I have clients and if these get reported externally, it will have a material impact on me. So how am I tracking that? So that number of external audits,
Hmm.
right? The findings around these material impact measures, how am I tracking that? And where am I tracking that? And where am I measuring it rather? Right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
what happens is typically these audit findings get reported to the team that has been coordinating the audit.
Yeah.
Now, if
Again.
you get what I'm saying, right? So
Yes, you're
it's like,
coming back to it.
yeah, it's like it never got reported to the team that is actually working, the operations team, which was actually on the ground, which should have
Hmm.
taken some action, and it was just sitting in somebody's laptop, and it had to be communicated, or for that matter, it got communicated to the leadership also. But the leadership doesn't know who it has to percolate down to, who will actually take the action.